Today, we're carving up caramel apple roses and chatting about cannabis rights with Jeff Danzer, the 420 chef, on Cooking with Pride. The kitchen has always been a place for people to come together and share their stories. I've invited a few of my favorite food friends from the LGBTQIA community to share their stories about cooking, connecting in the kitchen, and creating recipes that inspire others. This is Cooking with Pride. We're making caramel apple roses today.
We are.
What is the story behind these roses?
So these roses are actually not only one of my most popular dishes, they emulate who I am as a person, which is a blossoming rose in a way,
I love
right?
that.
Which is pretty awesome. The rose itself encapsulates pretty much all the different parts of my culinary experience that I love. If you ever saw me on the street, you'd always see me stopping to smell the roses. So that's all a big part of it.
I love that.
Yes.
So you literally stopped to smell the roses.
I literally stopped to smell the roses. It's the most annoying thing out there. Everyone's like, come on. I'm like, yeah, but there's like a whole bunch of different roses here.
What am I gonna be doing with these?
You know, we've cut them in half now.
Okay.
We've cored them, and we're going to put them on the mandolin.
Okay.
And we're going to slice them into little half moons
Okay.
to make the rose petals. Just
So
go
these
like
are
this.
going to look like actual roses.
These are going to look like actual roses, yes. And it's infused with cannabis because I'm a cannabis chef.
How did you get into being a cannabis chef?
I was cooking for some people that I knew that had terminal cancer. And they had medical recommendations for cannabis, but they didn't want to smoke. I was always known for my cookies at the time. So they said, let's make some cookies for them. And they tasted terrible. And then they challenged me to take out the taste of the cannabis from the cookies. And that really started my journey. As soon as I figured out how to take out the taste, the world opened up to me.
What does
so.
the taste taste
Like? It's a very grassy, herbal taste, but it always tastes the same. It's about the terpenes and the cannabinoids and the flavonoids all come together to give each strain a very unique, specific taste profile or odor profile, right? But when you're cooking with it, you don't necessarily want that in there, and then you're burning that off. So the taste that most people taste in their edibles is like a taste of burnt terpenes, burnt chlorophyll. It's not a very pleasant taste,
tasty.
yeah. It's not very good. A lot of people don't, most people don't like the taste. Some people like the taste, and that's fine. But when you're cooking with cannabis, you do kind of want your food to shine and not the cannabis to outshine the food.
Yeah.
Well, I figured out a way to remove the taste so that my food can shine. You can still get high from it, but you have no clue really that there's cannabis in it.
Oh,
Until
wow.
like an hour and a half later when it starts kicking, you're like, oh yeah, I'm feeling really good right now. We're just gonna put these inside a bowl with pomegranate juice here.
Okay.
That's actually going to dye the rose petals a nice pinkish red color. The lemon, if you want to just slice that up and put some lemon juice
me to work.
in there. There you go, yeah. So that'll keep them from turning. And then just put some rose water in there.
Okay.
And the rose water is going to make these apple roses have a hint of rose to them. So just take these, we're gonna stick these in here, just like that. And now they're gonna take on the color from the pomegranate juice, right? You can use any juice you want. If you want to use, let's say you want to make purple ones, you can actually take purple cabbage, juice the cabbage, soak these, and you get purple roses.
Wow.
So I like to use natural colors. I don't like to use food coloring, so this is how I like to do it. We let these sit in here for a little while. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the apples and we're going to poach some of the apples because we're going to set the roses on top of a poached apple filled with caramel sauce.
Ooh.
Okay, you're gonna cut it just like this. We're gonna make it nice thick. It's gonna be almost like a stage that the apple is gonna go on. So there you go, see that?
Okay.
Nice thick slice just like that. While you do that, make sure that you get the seeds out from the center here. Some of them might still have seeds because the
Okay.
core may not have gone through straight. And then I'll make the poaching liquid. Bourbon, some maple syrup, and then we're gonna put in a pinch of cinnamon and a couple cloves. And we're going to bring it to a boil, and then we're gonna put the apples in there once it boils.
Were you always into cooking?
I've always been into cooking. Even when I was in college, you know, when I could eat anywhere I wanted, you know, with my friends, I would rather cook in my dorm room and everyone would come over to eat with us.
Wow.
So I kind of kept it on the side as like my side thing that I always loved to do. And I was in business doing, you know, marketing for fashion companies in New York for a long time. And then a few years ago, I said, you know what? Like, I want to do something that I love that can help people. And I decided to become a chef.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Being a chef is a fairly new thing for you professionally.
Yeah, it really is. And it's not just a chef. I'm a cannabis chef.
Yeah.
So when I figured out how to take out the taste, I also had to figure out dosing because we never knew how much each cookie was going to make you feel. If one cookie made you feel like, oh my God, this is too crazy, and one I don't feel anything at all, there's a problem there, right? So I've had to figure out dosing and all that other stuff. Once I did that, then I was on my way.
I've witnessed people post-edible, and
Let's get some of these
their
in here.
2 points of feedback have usually been, it tasted gross.
Yeah.
And I feel sick.
Yeah.
So how did you figure that out? Did you have to go through periods of time yourself where you experienced bad taste?
You know too
and
well,
not feeling
yes.
well?
I mean, look, I hated the taste of cannabis. It took me a year and a half to figure out that you want to understand the strain that you're cooking with, and you want to understand the terpene profile that was in that strain, but you also want to be able to match the terpene profile with your food.
What's the terpene profile?
I'm glad you asked. Terpenes are the essential plant oils and what gives it the odor and the taste, really.
Okay.
And those plant oils, for example, think of lavender. When you smell lavender, it makes you feel amazing, right? The same sort of thing. So we have these terpenes that are making you feel a certain way, right? But those terpenes have a very pungent taste to them, right? And a very pungent odor. They're wonderful on one side, but on the other side, when you're cooking with it, you want your food to shine. And you also want to get the medicinal value from the cannabis. The medicinal value not only comes from the terpenes and the flavonoids, but also from the THC components or the CBD component within the plant. So THC and CBD are the two main cannabinoids that are inside each cannabis plant. When we take out the compounds responsible for the taste, right, we're literally just taking out the terpenes, the flavonoids, and the chlorophyll, and we're keeping the THC intact, is what makes you feel high.
Wow.
So-
Oh my gosh. It really is such a science.
It really is, yeah.
What's going on with the apples?
They're gonna boil for a little while, and they're just about ready. What we're trying to do is just keep them soft enough to cut with a fork, but we don't want them mushy and we don't want them raw. Right? So they're just about done. We're gonna shut the flame now and we're gonna refrigerate them, and that will finish the process, and at the same time, it will make sure that the apples are nice and cool.
We have a dough in front of us. What are we going to be doing with this? I'm pretty excited.
So this is one of the most fun parts of making these things, because you see its transformation. So what you'll do is you'll take just your knife like this and just cut a nice piece right just like that. Okay, and then here's how you stretch it out. Pull that back in a little bit right there, okay? Now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put some jelly on it, just like
Okay.
this.
What's the jelly for?
So the jelly is for a little sweetness,
Okay.
right? Jelly and caramel, this is apricot jelly. This is actually cannabis-infused caramel. Caramel and this jam just taste really great together, so they give your pastry a really nice, gooey, delicious taste on the inside.
Yum.
So now that we have this here, we're gonna take a little bit of the caramel, and you're gonna just do one stripe, just like that, don't stop, go straight across, just like that. That's 5 milligrams of THC,
Oh, wow.
okay?
Okay.
And you take your roses, and you just put them like this. So the top's gonna come up over the dough, and you're gonna overlap them, just like that.
Okay.
And go all the way across.
This
and
is a
try to
layering
hit the caramel.
process.
Oh, yeah. And you're like, how is this gonna become a rose?
I know. I'm kind of starting to see it now, though.
Are you?
I think I see what's happening.
That's great. That's at about this point, you're like, oh, I get it. So we're gonna just take this like this, just bring it up. If you're covering the top half with the roses, you can use the bottom half to seal it up, just like that.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
and
they're all
then,
like tucked in nicely.
and then you just go like this, roll it nice and tight.
Oh, here we go. Oh my gosh.
Tuck that on the side there, and
Wow.
there is your rose.
Oh my gosh, that
that?
really does look like a
Isn't that beautiful?
rose.
Then you take that and just set it right in there.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Isn't that beautiful? And then it'll bake just like that.
I'm gonna try this out. I have just learned recently that gay rights and cannabis rights have really kind of walked hand in hand throughout history.
Well, through recent history, for sure. Back in the 1990s, it was 1991 actually, a gay activist by the name of Dennis Perrone was really one of the first people out there to lobby to legalize cannabis. And in 1990, his lover died of AIDS. And he realized that cannabis was really helping people with AIDS at the time, and they had to legalize it. So he put out a bill called, I think it was Proposition P in 1991, to allow shops in the state of San Francisco to sell cannabis to AIDS patients. Proposition P passed, I think, with like 79% of the vote, which is pretty incredible if you think about the time back then,
Yeah.
the whole war on drugs, you think about what,
Totally.
what went down there. But then in 1996, he was also the author of Proposition 215, which was for the state not just San Francisco, but for the state of California to be able to sell cannabis, and specifically for AIDS patients.
Wow.
You know, because cannabis was one of the only medications that they knew at the time that really helped, you know, alleviate a lot of the symptoms, you know, from pain and anxiety all the way to, you know, being able to eat, because, you know, there was the whole wasting part of that disease as well.
Yeah.
You know, I think about it now, here I am bringing it all together. And by the way, Dennis and Brownie Mary, they wrote the first cannabis cookbook.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
were their
So,
recipes?
brownies, cookies, you know, typical
Obviously.
stuff. Yeah, you know, but that was the beginning, you know.
Why were like brownies and cookies the things that we all kind of associate edibles with?
That's such a great question. First, it was really easy.
Okay.
Right. So the way that you would infuse products back in the day, and this carried through until actually pretty recently, but to create a butter or an oil, and then use that as a base ingredient, that made it easy to infuse the cookies and infuse the brownies for someone to be able to eat and medicate with. Whereas now we can make everything from meatloaf to pizza.
Wow.
So, you know, we've been able to come pretty far, you know, with culinary cannabis, but it's taken a while, and it's, you know, guys like Dennis that made it easy for us to do what we're doing now.
I feel like my petals are falling.
Okay. We can still salvage this, right?
Okay.
So put this here like this. And now here, you start from this side, and we'll roll it really tight, just like this.
A lot of perseverance here.
There is an art to this. How's that?
Yes. It's like an interpretive rose, you know?
It is. You did a good job. Hey, you know, it works. There you go. There's the rose. And I think that came out actually pretty nicely.
Yeah. I'm going to give this another shot. Do you feel a sense of responsibility, kind of like carrying on this legacy?
I do, and I also feel a sense of pride. And when I say a sense of pride, it's because I'm going to be opening up one of the first cannabis consumption lounges in West Hollywood called Budberry. And as you know, West Hollywood is a mecca for gay culture.
Yeah.
That just gives me pause to say, wow, I've actually done what these people like Dennis Perone had wanted, you know, and we're actually making it happen now. So I feel that it's a really big thing. And yeah, it is a responsibility that I take very seriously. And that's why I do what I do, to elevate the cannabis consumption experience and not just make it about brownies and cookies. It's about everything.
What kind of things are you going to be serving up?
For starters, we're going to be serving Italian pizza type food. You're talking pizzas and calzones and flatbreads. Why? Because we're the only cannabis establishment in the world that has these culinary herbs, right? We call them free leaves. And those herbs are amazing on pizza and flatbreads. We have rosemary Jane, right?
Yeah.
We have oregano. We have sacred sage. So we have all these different flavors of cannabis that mimic these herbs, and we can do all these items in our stone oven, right? And then you just sprinkle the herbs on, and that's how you're getting high. This is really using cannabis as an ingredient.
Yeah. Wow.
Let's see how that came out. There you go. That's beautiful. Look at that. How beautiful is that? Beautiful.
It stayed together.
Yay. It's gorgeous.
I feel so accomplished just having that moment.
That's a great one. That came out really nice. You
Thank
should be very
you.
proud of it.
So did you have experience with cannabis growing up?
I did. And I'm very proud of it.
What was your experience like?
When I was 16, my friends and I started smoking cannabis behind the gym or whatever, and it was an incredible experience. You know, and I loved the way it made me feel, and I felt just really carefree and open, and I didn't care about what people thought of me. You know, and growing up gay back in the 80s and the 90s, I was that kid who I was really in the closet. You know, I grew up in an Orthodox Jewish environment. In that world, being gay was a no-no, you know, and I spoke to rabbis who said, oh, you just need to meet the right woman, and, you know, you just need to pray it away and say these certain prayers, and everything will be fine. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I really did believe it at the beginning, to the point where I got married.
Wow.
You know, on 9/11, I lived in New York at the time, and when I saw what was happening at 9/11, I came to this conclusion where I do not want to die without my kids knowing who I really am. And I made a decision right there and then to come out to my ex-wife. I did. We ended up getting divorced. I wanted to come out to my boys right away, and we discussed everything, and I let them ask whatever questions they wanted. They were very young. They were 13, 8, and 3. But they grew up with having a gay dad and being open about it and being able to ask me anything and understand what a whole different world than the Orthodox Jewish world was. And now they're very worldly, and we're all really, really tight. And I think that's because I finally became who I really am, and I became authentic. And as soon as you accept yourself and you become an authentic human being, who cares what the rest of the world thinks?
Yeah.
You know, and that's really what put me onto this next journey. It's like, well, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do, and I invented all these amazing things to make the cannabis consumption experience simple and easy for everyone, and that's always been my goal.
It's such a powerful story, too. Also, to have that realization as a parent, like, I don't want to keep living my life and not have my kids really know me, because I know from my perspective, I got to a point where with my mom, I wanted her to really know me and I wanted to know her. And I think that honesty on both ends is so important. And when you really break it down, it really is, you know, what we want in our lives is as simple as understanding the people that we love.
Yeah. Let's put these in the oven.
Okay.
So we're gonna put them in at 340 degrees because there's cannabis in them. Let's take these out of the oven.
Okay. Oh my gosh, they look
That's
beautiful. Yes.
All right, we just
Oh my
stick them right there. They can cool. And while they're cooling, we are going to plate them up.
Okay.
You're gonna take one of these little poached apples. This is gonna be our stage.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what I love is, you know those chocolate molten cakes? Well,
Yeah.
we have some warm caramel here. It's a similar thought process. You're going to just,
Fill it up.
there you go. Put some caramel in the middle there.
I love how fun this entire process is.
It really is. Let's take out this beautiful rose that you made, right there on the top. We're going to take some caramel.
Okay.
We're gonna drizzle it on the top.
Oh my God, that makes it look so good.
Now take some powdered sugar. And how beautiful is that?
Oh my
Now,
gosh, I love it.
we're going to take a leaf, stick it on just like that.
Oh my God. I love this presentation.
And the reason we put the leaf on is so you'll know that it's infused. There you go.
This is so creative. I just never would have thought that something like this would have cannabis in it. I'm ready to dig into this.
Let's do it.
Okay. Oh, I see the caramel oozing.
Yeah.
This hits the spot. Wow. And I can taste the flavor from the bourbon, too.
You have the rose flavor in the rose, and then you have the bourbon flavor in the apple. And they complement each other so well.
Yeah, wow. They do work really, really well together. This is just so creative, and it really just has me thinking in a whole new way about cannabis and how it can be consumed. How does it feel to be using cannabis as like your creative vehicle?
It's invigorating. I'm so excited and proud to do this because my mission is to reinvent the cannabis consumption experience. Hopefully, as we keep coming out with things like this, we're mainstreaming cannabis and cannabis within the culinary world, as opposed to it being, you know, this terrible drug that people look at. No, it's really an herb and it's an ingredient and it can help a lot of people. And the medicinal value is incredible compared to, you know, what's out there.
What is the medicinal value?
I'm glad you asked. Cannabis has been proven to help everything from pain and anxiety to relieve seizures. And now just in France, they discovered that cannabis can kill cancer cells and shrink tumors, which is huge. As we get more into the mainstream of cannabis and legalization starts to take hold in more states, there will be a lot more people that will be able to enjoy the medicinal effects of cannabis, you know, and really help their lives.
I feel like bringing people together around food is just such a great way to break down these ideas that people have had about cannabis for a really long time.
Yeah.
And you're opening your lounge too.
Yeah, it's called Budberry. It'll be open February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Wow.
We're all very excited about it. And you'll be able to try our oregano and rosemary and, you know, those herbs along with our pizzas and flatbreads and stuff like that. And we'll probably also have pastries there and a bunch of other things. And it's going to be a really enchanted experience.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that opening. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.